Hi, my name is Rome, and I'm currently studying game coding with Unity online course called Create with Code. In this video, I will create a step-by-step tutorial on how to program a plane controller, including explaining basic game logic in the scripting process. I just finished with the car controller lesson, so now I am going to apply what I learned on creating a car controller to make a plain controller script. There is no video on how to in Unity Learn Hub in finishing this challenge, so I decided to make a how-to video for the plain controller challenge. So if you're finished downloading the challenge 1 file, let's begin and I'll show you how I did it. Now we successfully pull up the scene, and before we do something else, let's go and click game mode and see what kind of bugs present on the script. As you can see, the plane is not moving and the camera is on the wrong perspective. So I think what we need to do is we'll fix the camera first. So we go to the main camera, and you can see below there is where is it? Okay, FollowPlayerX. You can see that there's no game object attached to it. So we need to attach a game object, which is the player. So click that one, and then so let's see what happens after we had attached the player game object to the main camera. Now you can see that the plane is constantly rotating, and something had happened. So something has been fixed. So what we need to do is that we need to adjust the camera settings so we have the proper game perspective. So you can use the translate transform position, or you can just enter the information that was given by Unity on the tips. So for X, it will be 30, and for Y will be 0, for Z will be 10. And for the rotation, X is 0, Y is negative 90, and Z will be 0. So after that, let's check out what happened when we go to game mode. Now we can see that the camera is following the player one way or another, but it's still not perfect. In order for us to fix that, we need to go to Visual Studio and enter the values for the camera. All that you need to do is to click the Follow Player X script, and we can rewrite the script from there. So we are inside Visual Studio, and we can see that the private vector tree offset, there's no value assigned, so we'll just assign new values. So that will be equals new vector tree, open parenthesis, then enter the values, which are 30, 0, and 10, and then close parenthesis. Don't forget the colon, and don't forget to save. And that's it. Go back to Unity and see how our game looked like after we updated some scripts. Now let's just go back to Unity and see how our game update. Um, Let's see. Now our plane is moving, but it's moving backward. But what is good about this one is that the camera is now following the plane. So on our next step, we are going to make the script to make the plane move forward. So we're now trying to move the plane forward. So let's observe something. If we drag the arrow keys, we can see that the Z axis is the one that is changing. So what we need to do is that we need to double click the player controller X so that we can check the bugs in the script. So we are inside Visual Studio, and you can see we have two scripts here. We have the Follow Player X script and then the Player Controller X. Make sure that you're editing on the player controller X and not on the follow player X. So delete that one. Now we'll just need to check some comments so that we know which lines we're going to update. So there's this get the user vertical input, move the plane forward at a constant rate, and there is also a tilt the plane up and down based on up and down arrow keys. So obviously it is this is the one that we wanted to fix because we want the plane to move forward. You can see vector tree dot back. We want that to be forward, so let's just type in dot forward, and it also says constant rate, so we'll just apply the same command, same as the vehicle. So we'll just put it times time, capital letter for T, dot delta, capital letter for T, time again. And that's it. So let's check it out and see if the plane actually moves forward. So don't forget to save. We're now back in Unity, so let's go into game mode and see what will happen to our player and if the plane will actually move forward. Let's see. Okay, great. So the plane is actually moving forward. However, we have no control of the plane. So the next thing we need to do is to set up the control for the up and down arrow keys. We are back on Visual Studio, and our next task is to be able to control the plane with the up and down arrow keys. So in order for us to be able to do that, is that we'll just need to add our vertical input to our equation. So let's just do that and see if we can finally control the plane up and down with the arrow keys. So just put vertical input, as capital, and then save it. And then let's go back to Unity. We're now back in Unity and we're going to test our game and see if the newly added vertical input in the equation actually lets the plane tilt up and down as we press the arrow key. As you can see, the plane is actually moving up and down as we press the arrow key. However, it takes quite some time for it to go up and it takes some time for it to go down. So I think we'll need to assign values for speed and vertical input. And after that, we can see how the game looks like when we update it to game mode. So we are back inside Visual Studio and now we're just going to assign values to our variable speed, rotation speed, and vertical input. So we'll just have to type in the equal sign 25.0 to represent that we're creating a decimal number, and then the F represents as a float, and then close it with a semicolon. Same thing what we're gonna do with rotation speed, so that will be equals to 25.0 F and semicolon. Now, you can play around with this number. You can check which is the best number that works best for the game. I haven't checked it out, so if you actually did that one, please write in the comments below what are the perfect numbers so that the plane can pass and complete the project, complete the game by able to dodge into the different barriers that we created. The public float, you can also close it and make it as private. So we can make it like private float speed and then so on and so forth. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the extra bonus challenge, which is creating a script for the propeller. So we come to our last and final challenge. What we're going to do is we're going to create animation for our plane. If you click on the plane, you will see that the player has a child and it's a propeller. And this object can actually rotate if you drag along your mouse, and you can see that it's rotating. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a script and name it as spin propeller. In order for us to do that, double click your mouse and click on create and then C# script and name it spin propeller, and then double click the spin propeller so we can go to Visual Studio. So we are back inside Visual Studio, and we'll just take away the player controller so that we can make sure that we are working on the right scripts, spin propeller. So we're going to create a simple line here to make the propeller rotate. So that will be transform dot rotate, capital letter for R, and then open parenthesis 0, comma 0, comma -100, close parenthesis, and colon. So the idea of this code is that um, at said axis, the there will be a rotation, and that will be applied to the game object to which the script is attached to. So let's try it out and attach this script to the propeller. So we are inside Unity and we're going to test the new script that we created. All that we need to do is to click on the propeller, and under its inspector, you just add the component of the spin propeller, and then we'll just try out if it's working. So let's enter game mode and see if the propeller will actually spin. So there you go, guys. The propeller is actually spinning, and I hope you liked the video. If you had a hard time following my instructions on the video, you can go to my website on the link below. I will write down a step-by-step instruction and also a copy of the script so you can try and test it out yourself. Forget to like the video and subscribe. So hey guys, I hope that you learned something new today with the videos that I had just shared. It takes some time to make them, so I hope that you really like them. This video is sponsored by my time, so I hope that you learned something new today. And if you do have some information that you would like to share, or maybe better scripts that you would like to share with this channel, please write it down in the comments below. And if you have some games that we would like to play, put it down also on the links. If you want to contact me, I'll write my description there. Please don't sell me anything, okay? This channel, I like it to be more of a channel to help each other in our game design and development, whether improving our skills or yeah, basically improving our skills, because I am just only a beginner, so I will just have to learn for some new stuff before I can learn it to you. And but I hope that you support me on this one. So do click the like button and subscribe, and I will make more videos. Cheers and bye for now. Hey do.